Good morning, everyone. This is Dan here with GrapevineRecording, and welcome again to our game stream. That isn't a stream yet because I haven't fully figured out the whole whether I'm going to do it on Twitch, whether I'm going to do it on YouTube type of thing. So we're going to do another video while I figure that out. Today, my friends, what I want to do is there was a couple of hiccups that I hit with Unity. There was a few things that I was trying to do that maybe were a little bit too advanced for me right now. So I'm going to kind of give you a little overview of what I'm trying to achieve, and if any of you guys know how to do that, you can let me know in the comments. But I just want to say thanks, basically, for all the comments that were left on the first video. It was an absolute eye-opener. I didn't expect such a response, so I'm super glad that yous are on board with this. And also, yous have given me a couple of other streams to go and watch. So I've watched a couple of little bits of people who are doing this type of thing, and hopefully I can learn a little bit, and I can improve this. It should be said, I'm just going to reiterate, I am a complete newbie when it comes to this. I know a couple of years were saying that that's kind of an interesting thing, is that you're not just seeing someone who's an out-and-out professional, who's an expert at this, who's just implementing things and learning in that sense. This is kind of me just ploughing through and figuring out as many things as I possibly can. And as we know, this will probably take a while, but I don't really know what my end goal is here. I don't necessarily want to just... I'm going to keep doing this until I've completed that level. You know, it's not going to be like that. It's going to be just a rolling thing. If I can do one or two of these videos a week, maybe a stream a week, you know, who knows? We can kind of evolve it into that. This isn't going to get in the way of other Grapevine stuff. It's just a substitute while I'm a little bit busy on that front. So, yeah, frankly. So, as we know, we're using Fmod and Unity. You don't really need me right now, so bye-bye me. We're using Fmod and Unity. We're still in our trusty village level. I kind of fixed one of the issue where it was clipping through everything. I can't remember exactly what the issue was, but I just had to double click on something like that, which zoomed me all the way in, and then I can kind of float about. I think it had something to do with whatever I was selecting, but you know, we are fixed. So a couple of things that I've figured out is that my computer's not the world's most powerful computer. So whenever I was playing the scene in here, the recording software like OBS was not best please. So don't worry about that. I'll try and do that to a minimum, and when the PC's upgraded, I will let you know. So I want to try and spend today kind of just explaining a couple of things that I was trying to do and see whether any of you can help me. And as well as that, we are also going to be going in and kind of trying to improve some of the sounds that are already in here. So it might be a little bit of a sound design-y kind of show today, which, you know, might be happy. I don't think I'm going to be doing a whole load of implementation in this one, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. So first of all, it wasn't a mistake. I was looking at this barrel. With this barrel, I tried to attach a raycast, just a basic raycast to this barrel, just so I could potentially see, you know, create a trigger through a ray. So when a collision, if I walk past and this raycast was going across this path, for example, when I'd hit that, maybe a bit of audio would play. So I was looking at the scripting for this, and I can't remember how to do it. I think if I just go to edit script at the bottom. So there's something here. The associated script cannot be loaded. Please fix any compile errors and assign a valid script. So apparently, am I not returning anything? But if it's a void, do you have to return? So basically, all this was if you go onto the Unity, what would it be? Like help database type thing. They were saying that if you create a vector 3, oh wait, there, I realised because on this there isn't a raycast, is there? you've got to do that transform thing. So if I go into Chrome, then if I go to Unity, raycast from source to listener. I think that's this. No. So let me just go Unity raycast. So this opens up the database. Nope, not that one. Is it this one? I think this is it. Physics.raycast. Right. So if we go down, and then, see if I grab this, if I just take the entire of this over to here. So that debug thing is just so we, technically that debug was there just so we could see what it is in the editor. So if we do that, get rid of all of that. Why is this not working? Why doesn't it know what if is? Is it because of that? No. What? Well, this isn't working very well. You know what? I don't even think. Do I care about it? Do I care about it at all? Based off the mouse position. I think this is kind of if you use like a gun. Let's just go back. That should work, shouldn't it? Like copy that. Not into that. Go into here. Grab all of that. Do that. Alright, now it knows. So, which also means that I've lost my debug. Thanks, game. So if I go over here and go debug C raycast, that should give me this. And I'm pretty sure you put that below this vector. Oh, I think that's got to be FWD. Okay, so let's save this. See, so this is compiled correctly, yeah, with all the green. Then we go back into Unity. So that script has now been edited. So, oh, it hasn't done that before. Let me just move that over into the middle and then play. Again, this might be a little bit dodgy. See, look, again, it's just gone off again. The associated script cannot be loaded. Please fix any compile errors and assign a valid script. Color me stumped. Let me just move it out of the way. Right, we're gonna move away from that because that was that's kind of one issue. So that's why I want to do the raycasting, and basically I'd have just liked to have incorporated that into the level so I could see said raycasts across. I'm pretty certain that this is how they do the footstep thing as well, is that there's a constant raycast going down every 2 steps, I think. And then based off that, if I find the camera again, I always lose the camera. Is it that? It is. And then that. So we come down and have a look at the footstep script. So you'd write in kind of what the step distance is here, and I'm pretty sure that has to do with raycast. You know what? I'm going to have a look. So it says somewhere about a raycast, so we'll see how they do it. Can I, like, Control F this? I can. Yeah, physics.raycast. So this is the raycast for the hit. So if physics.raycast, which is the transform position, vector 3 going down, if the hit collider dot game object layer is equal to the layer name to layer, because that's what terrain, the ground layer is set to the ground. Initialize or integer material index dot get material hit. See, so this is basically why it does it. But we're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave that alone. In the words of Michael Jackson, leave it alone. So we're gonna move over to another part of the level, which is over yonder, where I've made the most unbelievable looking chicken coop you've ever seen in your life. It's basically a shed from the other side of the map that I've dragged over. So basically with this, what I wanted to do was to create a sound source, like so, which was going to be just generic chicken noises. And this, the reason why I wasn't best happy with this is because what I wanted to do is I don't want the attenuation to be completely spherical. If I could have done this as like a cone, you know, so it come off like so, I'd have loved that, because then if you're the other side of that building, you wouldn't have heard it, and then it kind of just grows when you're in here. I understand that I could just move the sphere. No, crap. I could have just moved, you know, increased the sound size so the min distance was bigger. Because obviously you can't get to that side of the house. You know, the character can't get inside the building here. So it would have only have grown when they were here, which may have worked, but I think that's something to do with occlusion. But once again, I'm not entirely sure how one goes about that. So is there any occlusion in this? There's an occlusion area. I have no idea where I am here. What am I even looking at? Let me just have a look at this. Have I created an occlusion area? No idea. Let me just get rid of all that. So, because I'm not entirely sure what an occlusion area even is, if I create... Would I have to create basically a zone in here and then add an occlusion? I'm not sure. I think that would be a step too far for the moment. So basically what I wanted to do was to create a sound emitting from this shed, but the sound will only be heard when you kind of like here somewhat, you know, where you've got line of sight. So if you're on the other side of this building, even though you might technically be within the sphere, you wouldn't hear it because there's a, you know, big wooden house in the way. That's kind of what I've been struggling with. So let me go back to Big Face Dan, because I've got a coffee, so I'm just gonna make a coffee. It's not super early in the morning, but it's like pretty early for this kind of thing. So I'm just gonna go to press. So they're the main things that I've been looking at, because a lot of the things that I've been trying to figure out a little bit more of involve scripting, and I did a very, very, very small amount of scripting when I was in university in C++, where we built audio plugins. I say that I did a little bit of it. I'm not, again, it's not really my strongest suit, so I've got to like push to learn more about it. So we built like EQs, and did we build reverbs? We might have built a reverb or a delay or something. So because we did a little bit of that, and I've struggled with that kind of thing, it's been a little bit difficult to go, well, you know, Dan, it's public functions, isn't it? And you've got to void and then return stuff, and I don't really know. But good morning. Wow, that's warm. So let's look at sounds. Let's listen to sounds even is what I meant. So if I open up, well, we don't need that, do we? So this is one of my sound libraries. This is just the one that lives on my portable hard drive. So this has got a fair few things that I've received from people, things that I've found, things that I got from university, things that I've bought. You know, there's a whole load. There's a whole load of things. So what I was going to mention this in the last video, but I couldn't because we weren't like prepared to do it. So the good people over at Sonus, for those who may be interested, go and have a look at Sonus. The guy who runs it, lovely guy, has actually created a load of like GDC bundles. I may have mentioned this in the last video, can't remember. So inside here is just kind of like little teasers of loads of different sample libraries. If you go down, see there's just plenty. Loads of sound morph stuff. Yeah, there's a load. And these are all released for free through the Sonus website. If they're not currently available on there, you just email them. I emailed him and he sent me links to... I believe he sent me links to this... No, last year's one. Sorry, this year's one. It was still available. So this is in 9 parts. I need to like consolidate these, but I have not. So what I want to do is I'll try and use these as much as we can because it's kind of something that's available, isn't it? Like you don't have to go and buy anything for this. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to have a look at the buildings. We're going to have a look at the Atmos, and we're going to try and build something a little bit better than what we've currently got. So we're probably going to be primarily using Fmod at the moment. So if I open up said Fmod, let's have a look. Let's have a little look. So if we spend, shall we do our base Atmos first? We can do. Another thing that I want to talk about is I've got a program at the minute called Seer, like SEER, and what this allows us to do is it basically lets the Windows Explorer work a little bit like how the Mac Explorer works. So if we go into tropical ambiences, you can kind of just click on it and then push space. And it works kind of the way the Mac Finder works, where if you just push space, it'll preview it, which is lovely because VLC is great, obviously, but it's nice sometimes just where you can just, you know, push space, have a quick listen, and you don't have to open anything. Oh my god, there's a dice sample library. I've really wanted to do a dice sample library. Let's have a listen. Yes. That one's great. Lovely. Love dice. So yeah, let's have a look and try and make this system a little bit better. So for those who know, for those who are in the know about me, you know that I use Soundly a hell of a lot. I am like, the guys over at Soundly are just grade A people. The issue is, I don't think Soundly has my external hard drive in it currently. So, it might not work. If I go into me, I don't think it's going to happen. And plus, if I've got to import it now, it's got to import like 100,000 samples. So, we're not going to be able to do that. So, I do recommend using some kind of like sample library management system, and Soundly is free and the guys are great. It's like a small company and you don't have to pay £1,000 for SoundMiner or something equal to that. So let's have a listen to some of the ambiences because I don't want it to be mad. This may work. See, so I'm not necessarily thinking that we've got to get rid of absolutely everything here. Potentially, we just have to maybe just add to it, create a couple more trigger zones. That doesn't want to work, does it? So let's have a little look. If we close this, I do apologize, by the way. You may hear the dog bark. It's the bin men day today, and the dog does not like the bin men. So we're going to add this. We've got the bass sound up here, which was just that wind. We've got some external sounds, and now we've got another audio track, which is, I'm just going to put birds. It's not necessarily the most birdy of tracks, but we can use it nonetheless. So let's have a listen to this. I'm not a big fan of this wind. I'm really not a big fan of that wind. Let's see if we've got any others. So a lot of this is just going to be marching through, basically just marching through sample libraries. I think that's about 80% of this job, if I'm honest. So we're looking for wind. Any kind of wind will do. God, it's so much easier when it's all just in one. I'm going to have to... wind in trees. Was that urban wind? Oh, no! Let's have a look at this first. Ah, these are going to be... maybe not. Nah. I just want generic light wind. These could be accent winds. Oh, hello. I like that top one. That one may work. Okay. You are going to go. You are going to come in. That was like a very, very short loop. God, the length of this. Does that sit any better? Is that just my mind not working? See, I want to give the impression of the village actually being, you know, in a place, not just a windy, desolate area. When that other wind comes in, I'll lower the bird sound and such. I don't like how it loops. He doesn't like how it loops. Let's figure this out. I don't know how to... Here's an Fmod thing I don't know about. Because these loops are going to be somewhat at different lengths, I don't know... Is there any way you can crossfade from the front to the back? That makes sense? Like crossfade across the loop. That'd be nice. Oh! I also remembered about this little issue. Remember when I said about the... I didn't want the... You know, like when this goes from 0 to 1, I didn't want it to just be a, like, dead quick thing. I wanted it to be weighted, I think I said. Well, my friends, I figured out how to make it weighted. And if I remember correctly, which I may not. Yeah, you hit the parameter twice. So the seek speed... That's what this is. So it's all good. So let's see how this loop works. I think it's the birds. I think the birds are the things that are causing the issue. So can I apply some kind of fade? I'm also not a massive fan of that opening. Let's do something like that. See what that does. That's... The issue with it is because it's got obviously its own ambience in that sound as well. So it'll when it disappears, you lose a lot more than just the. You lose a lot more than just the bird sounds in that sense, because you lose some of the. Just like the atmos around it, but this might just be alright for now. Okay, a couple of things I do want to change, however. One of them being this. So if this is going to be rocking at -12 when it's at 0, I'll do. I do want this to stay as is. Oh no, well I can't do that. It's going to have to be an all or nothing type of thing. So if we do this, how does that sound? Yeah, I want it to push down in volume. Stop it. That may work. Go back to the timeline. So that's the regular one. Like inside the village. I still think that goes up a bit too much. I think both of them need to come. Maybe just do about there. There may do. Let me just drop this back down to 0 dB. So there's the bass atmos. I think I would like more accents as things happen, if I'm honest. Because this bird loop is just a loop, isn't it? That will happen every time. You see this? If I set this to 50%, does that mean the probability of that triggering is 50%, or does a condition have to be made? See, yeah, it doesn't trigger that time. Huh. That's interesting. What I could... So it's a 50-second loop. What happens if I did this? If I grab that... That wasn't the button that I wanted to push. If I grab that... That wasn't the button I wanted to push. Can we just, like... Copy? So if we grab different parts, again, I 100% think there's a better way of doing this. Do that, like so. And basically just use different sections of that loop. That's that area, so we want to remove that. Put that there. Let's just see what this does. So will that... There's still a 50% chance that it won't trigger. Or that it will trigger, depending on your outlook in life. See what it does. Well, now it's just not triggering at all. Let's try it again. Say if I put that one to 100. So anything that's on 50 just seems to not be triggering at all. Oh no, it is working. Because that may work then, and we can... Is it possible for us to adjust that random parameter based off this, for example? So if we... Let's just say we put it to 70%. And then what I'm going to do is... I want to add automation to this. So when it's on 0, when the external wind parameter is on 0, we want it to have a 70% chance of triggering. When the wind sound is on 100, we want this to lower down just to maybe just 50. Let's just do that. So we go back to this timeline, click on one. It needs to be running. Oh no. How do we do this then? How do I copy that automation lane? Do I have to do it for every one? Oh God, I think I do. It's fine. Automation. Again, I think it probably would have made sense me setting up the automation first. Because when that automation's then originally set, it'll have saved with all the clips. The good thing is though, is that you can now technically have different values for different clips, I guess. Again, adding further variety. God, but it takes a while. About 70 and about 50. Ooh. 70. 50. That's fine. So now these random parameters should move. Cool. That worked exactly how I wanted it to. Now that automation can go away. So basically what that's going to do is whenever we get to the trigger zones in our trusty trees trigger down here, whenever we enter this zone, them options will change. Let's have a little look at the wheel, because I like some parts of the wheels and I dislike others. I am going to have to clean this up as well, aren't I? So let's figure it out. Let me get a new folder And this folder will be called player. Inside this, there's going to be a new folder called footsteps. No, it's going to be called Foley. Then there'll be another one called footsteps. I want to improve the footstep sounds at some point also. That's going to do that. Does this still work? Yeah. These events are going to get cleaned up better as well, which, if I remember correctly, Unity does not like that, and you've got to fix it. So, what wanted to say? I wanted the wheel. So I really like the creaks. I'm not a massive fan of the accents. I'm just gonna hide it up. You know what? They're not that bad. I might put a reverb on them though. You know what? We're sticking with them. They are not too bad. So I'm pretty certain also, however, that we have some new crowd noises in one of these. Battle crowds, there we go. Immediately found it. Which I'm going to use for the... I'm going to use this just for the barracks, I think. That might be a little bit too much. So we're going to look at these other battle sounds. Unrest, maybe. That's the sound. I'm sure that's the exact sound I'm using. Battle steady fighting. Surely it is. It is not. Sounds like it though. Oh, it is. Well then. So if we move that away, oh, maybe we can add like this in. No, that wasn't what I expected it to be. I've seen, you know what? I had a look through these, and there was some that were like spot on, exactly up the street of what we needed. Oh, who's this? No. No. Never mind. It's like, I like the idea of what's going on in it. I really do. I think having like that basic fight sound with the clinking and clanking of swords is cool. It could probably be better though. And at this point, I don't know whether it's better just adding more sounds on top of it. Metal moans. Oh. Could that be added into our wheel? Potentially. Let's go back to objects. Wood. Nope. Where am I? What? Oh, because I'm in assets. Wood Creek. Let's bring this back again. I think we can definitely add this in. So if I create a new track Call this one metal. I think it was that one and what was it? That might be a little bit too abrasive. This one's got more potential. Let us loop this. Let's just create a bit of modulation. I don't think I wanted to do that. I wanted to do kind of like that. That may work. Just fade that out a touch. Because I only wanted to trigger once through this, so it kind of all sounds together. That's the hard thing, because some of these samples, some trigger up in the front, some trigger right at the end. Give it one more listen. That should be fine. I just want to put a quick thank you in as well to the guy who mentioned about the scatterer sound. So this min max scatter distance, I believe, meant that if I increase the minimum value up to here, it actually would only scatter when I'm within this distance away from it. It'd actually only have a chance of triggering, where if I lower it all the way down, that'd only trigger when we're closer, which poses a pretty interesting thing, because these accents are kind of a delicate sound. I don't think I want this to trigger when we're far away, so I wouldn't mind putting that to about between 0 and 5. So when you're quite far away from the wood creek, you can from the wheel, sorry, you can hear them moans, but it's actually only when you get close that you hear the intricacies. If that's how that works, then that is tremendous, and thank you very much for that comment. Sweet. So we've got that. We've got the barracks fight. Let's improve the blacksmith. I feel like the blacksmith doesn't get enough love. Never mind. There's a dock sounds. What are these? Don't hit escape then. That's not that. That is that. Nope. It's a shame that. That'd have been good. Drones. No. I want like a what can I call it? Like a furnace. But I don't think any of these are gonna house a furnace. It's burps and farts, but no furnace. Robobiotics? What on earth? What's this? It sounded amazing. So yeah, I think that Timothy McHugh's the fella who runs the runs Sonus. Definitely go and say hello. Natural variety? What's this? Ooh. Ugh. That's a disgusting noise. Oh. Tools construction. I really doubt there'll be a furnace in this, but you never know. Where is it? I hate this. I want that to stay there all the time. No. Obviously, as you can see, these are all what are they called? Like samples. These are obviously like a sample of the sample library. What's this? Bit reverby. Oh, what's this one? No, that one's not going to work. It's a shame, this. I think Dreamscapes is where I got the... Yeah, it's where I got the music from. Some weird ones in there, like. We could potentially do something with the music. Let's have a listen. So, if we create... This wants to work. It doesn't want to work. If we create basically a trigger zone for the music, so let's add... Where's music? I'll add a new folder. To that. I'm pretty certain if I add another audio track, Whirlwind, can I create what's it called? So if I add a marker and then another marker, drag that up to there, I'll create a transition to marker A. Right there. Let me think how this works. Give yourself a little bit of room. If I want it so whenever a trigger zone is reached, it'll move to the next song. It's super annoying that they're gonna have to swap. They're definitely gonna have to swap. Like that. Actually, I'm going to keep this on a separate track because the volumes are going to be different. So, we have marker A and marker B. We're going to have another parameter here called... I'm just going to write music from 0 to 1. And then basically, I want something to happen. So I want to transition to marker B at some point, don't I? So if I do that... Can you create multiple loop regions? Oh my god, you can. So if I set them to loop with each other, I'm going to put that at the bottom. Again, I'm sorry that this is just ridiculous. That I'm so slow. So you're going to have your loop, and then you're going to have your marker. Then what I need to have is, that needs to go to marker B if the music parameter is at 1. Yeah? So when that goes to 1, it's going to move to marker B. Let me just test that. This might get a little jump in volume. I apologise. Sweet. I understand it's not the most lovely of things. Is there a way that you could... Is there a way you could do this? Is there a way that you could put... excuse me, a transition in? Basically, if I... This is probably not going to work. If I take the first couple of seconds of each... Like that. Can I heal these now? No. It's fine. If I create a loop like that, What does that sound like? Oh, wait there. Oh, that's a shame. Right, oh, how am I going to do it? Clip volume, potentially. Right, we're going to add another audio track called Transitions. We're going to drag both of these down. So they can stay at 0. That can go to -5. That can go to -19. It's not bad. I want it to fade more like that though, I think. Aye. Right, so I want marker B to be that. Oh god, this is going to be so difficult to do. I want that to be marker B. Add another marker, which will be marker C. So that's going to go to there. That's going to have to play from there. If it doesn't, it's going to continue to loop. Right, and then marker C is going to start there. Right. So, oh dear. This is going to be super confusing if at any point you go into the transition, but do not return out of it. So that's going to go there to there. Where's this marker? That marker is going to have another trigger condition is if the music... Wait there, I think I've got it. If that is still at 1, when it gets here, it's going to jump to marker C. So this is going to happen. So it's going to jump to B, continue the transition if it stays on 1. And now you're in the second song. Right, let me continue to think. Because that's only if it triggers here, though. So if you start this, you've still got 55 seconds of a song before you even get into it. But you'd have to have multiple transition points. There's got to be a way you could make like a little... Is there a transition zone? What's a transition region? What's that? What's a transition region? Does that mean it's gonna play? I'm gonna have to Google what a transition region is. Fmod transition region. What are you? Oh, adaptive music. Now we're talking. Okay, let me find transition region. Right. Now set up. I'll set these up with transition regions for now, but when we create these ourselves, we'll be using transition markers. Well, that's not what I needed. Now, though, because you could technically die at any time, we can create a transition region across all of the segment, across all of segment 1 and 2, to make sure that this transition can occur at any time. What? We also make sure that we attach logic so that the health must be equal to 0. So this transition only occurs when we actually die. Okay. So that's something that's going to supersede it, isn't it? So if there's like a death transition, that's just going to take over it. Right, let me think. Let me have a little think. Because if I then create another transition to marker B situation, if this is... at 1 still. Let's just say this happens there. This isn't going to work because it's going to interrupt the loop. Oh, it didn't sound... It didn't sound terrible, though. I need to figure out what a transition region is. So if I add a condition, music, I'm going to just put it onto there. Just because I don't know. don't really know what this is doing. No, I don't know. I'm going to continue to do it my way, and then I'll research why that didn't work. So I will put these every 10 seconds. Is that right? Something like that I'd do. So that's if the condition is at 1, at any of these points, it'll automatically jump to this transition marker. I just wish that you can make the transition nicer. You know, like, it backlog the fade, basically, is what I want. So never mind. So that's going to go to marker C. Marker C is going to begin from here. Now we're going to have to make a equal yet opposite fade back. So we're going to need the beginning of this. Just take 5 seconds of it. Once again, I completely understand that this isn't the best way of doing it. I'll just put it at the end for logic's sakes. And then we're going to take the last 5 minutes of this. That was not what I asked to do there, game. By game, I mean Fmod. Just zoom in a touch. Split. Copy. Paste. Here. What was it? -5, -19? But the other way, isn't it? Not bad. I'd want that to fade out a little bit more, though. A little bit faster. This is ridiculous. So now this is going to be marker D as a marker. It's definitely not right, is it? And then that's going to have a transition to marker A if the condition is 0. So this is going to be playing marker C. That needs to disappear. That needs to go to marker D. That condition is going to be based off a 0 condition. Jesus. Then that's going to go again every 5 seconds. God, I bet everyone who's got any bit of knowledge about any of this that I'm doing are just in agony watching this. God, can I like take all of these? Copy. Yes. Yes, multiple pastes. And then you can go. That right? That right? Is that right? Because if it... yeah. Oh, he's done it. It's done it, look. And then at any point it goes to 1. It's not the cleanest cut there. That's not bad. Come on. Come on, that isn't bad. Right there. I need big face me again. Ah, yeah. That isn't bad. We're on to the next cup of coffee. Again, there's probably a better way. There's probably a better way of doing that. Of doing the transition zones. I guess if you were writing music for this, you could purposely write transition zones from one to the other. So, you know, there's like a bit of music that would always fit regardless of where you transition into it from. That'd be ideal. I actually really want to go and see what that's like now in the game. I think setting it up in the game is pretty much similar to how we were doing that other stuff. You know, just add a trigger zone that affects that. Yeah, we can do that. So if we go back to computer, we want to save this, build the bank. I'll try and make just a completely new trigger zone, actually. So I can remember how to do it. Where'd you start? We start there. We will put a trigger zone. No, not over there. We'll put it here. Just past. No, we won't, actually. We're going to put it here. Right, so we want... I've added more triggers around the back, actually, to... Similar to what that one's doing down there. You know, the wind trigger over here. But I just added it over here as well, so it'll... because you can walk here. Because you can walk here, I added different trigger zones to kind of give the impression of space. What I am going to do as well is... I want to put a few, you know, like distant sounds, like wolves and whatnot out here. And actually this trigger zone will trigger them sounds going off. Which I'll figure out how to do. So, if we start here, we walk down the front. We'll change the music when we get to the end of the pier. So... we need a cube. So we need to create a 3D object cube. This cube is the back. So lift you up, come over here, lift you up, and then we want to adjust the rotation. So it's like that. We're going to remove the mesh. I think that's right. We're going to adjust the scale a touch. And by a touch, I mean drastically. Then we can just hopefully move it from there. Do you want it to just be the pier? Maybe a little bit. Extend it a little bit there. I think that's the only place you can go. That should be fine. So it works from there. Sweet. Okay, so we want to add a few of these. So we want to add a parameter trigger. We need the target to be that. We want the trigger to be on trigger enter. From there, we want to set the music to 1. We also need to add another parameter trigger, again, using the camera, which will then be on trigger exit, which will set the music back down to 0. I'm going to set the collision tags to player, because that's what I've been doing in all the other points, and I want it to be correct. So I want to now grab the camera, come down to... That's on the wrong thing. Come down to the music emitter, which is there, and we want to just set the initial value to 0, just so it starts with that other song. I am gonna expand on this a little bit. Wait there. Where's Big Face Me again? Well, I think what I mean is that this is obviously expandable. You can add many other things into this. So if you've got like melody layers or drum layers, you can actually stem it and have different trigger regions triggering different elements of the music to come in and out. I've just got things working on an on-off situation right now. I'm sure you can use like adaptive mixing and things like that, especially if you are working with stems where it can be a little bit more fluid, I guess. Right now we are just working in like a binary on-off situation. We'll see whether it works. I'll be devastating if this doesn't work. So we're going to save it. We're going to play. Sorry for the lag again. Right. So we can hear the drone. I'm stuck. Oh. I'm a tit. But you all saw that coming, didn't you? Is it the collider? What's the thing that stops me walking into it? Why am I walking into it? Oh, there. Is trigger. Idiot! Right, we'll play it again. Oh, I thought it weren't going to work. There's that, and then if we jump off here, we've now left the trigger zone. Oh, it's so good. It's so good that I'm stuck on a beach. Yes. Oh, let's check out our new wheels. So now them accents only trigger when you're literally below them. Sweet. I want to add more Foley sounds to the footsteps. Definitely gonna happen. Oh, it works so well. Except when you enter and then leave immediately, doesn't it? Doesn't really like that. So let's go and check out our chicken coop. Oh, it just looks like it lives there, doesn't it? It's perfect. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. It does have a sound. It's got the insect sound. See, I don't want it to trigger here because you can't see it. Here, yes. Here, no. So I have to figure out that occlusion. Again, if I could ray trace it, I would. But equally, I have no idea how to do that. We've got new wind when we come out here. Quite difficult to hear, but it's there. You know what? I think that's good. We'll leave it there. It's about an hour or so. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I was a little bit surprised that the music thing worked. I'm gonna have another look at the music thing. Let's see both. Look at it. Ridiculous. So yeah, let us know. Let us know what you think. I know some people were kind of pretty excited about what's that? We're pretty excited about some more long form videos. I've adjusted the room slightly so I can get a light, the light that was usually for the camera over there. That's now directly in this corner. So let us know what you think. Again, there's a couple of questions in there somewhere that I would like you to answer if you could. Kind of just mainly about the ray trace situation and occlusion. For those who have got a little bit more nous with Fmod, that music system is probably not the best thing in the world, but if it works, it works. If you know of a way to expand upon that, please let me know. Next time I want to look at basically looking at the footstep system, maybe adding a little bit of Foley into it just to kind of not make it just sound like footsteps, make it sound like a person moving, add a bit of weight to it. And also want to look at snapshots. So I want to have basically, when you go into a certain area, there's a massive like shift in sound. That probably won't work super well for the level. I'm gonna do that so it's like it'll be exaggerated, like, oh, when you get to here it sounds like you're indoors. I understand that in the grand scheme of the level, it's not going to make it the most realistic thing in the world, but it's just to see whether it works. There was something else I wanted to do, but I've forgotten what it is. So yeah, let me know. After we do this, we're moving on to Wise, just so you know. So after this level, I might actually basically re-import the village level, but use Wise and see basically how we do what we've just done in Fmod in Wise, because I feel like I'm neglecting that a little bit. So we'll do that next time. But once again, this has been Dan with Grapevine Recording. Please let me know whether you enjoyed it. Hit the like button if you did, and we'll move on. We'll do more. I need to edit this up a little bit, but this will be uploaded in the very near future. But yes, thanks all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.